Namaste, Hamisha Kushbu Bitiya. I am JVN Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Today in this session, we will discuss the topic episcleritis. We have already discussed the anatomy of sclera. Today we will discuss the topic episcleritis. So what is episcleritis? Episcleritis, it is a benign recurrent inflammation of the episclera involving the overlying Tennant's capsule but not the underlying sclera, means the sclera proper. As you discussed, there are the three layers of sclera. What are the three layers of sclera? They are the episcleral tissue, sclera proper and lamina fusca. So in this disease, there will be inflammation only on the superficial layer, that is the episcleral tissue, and the second layer, the sclera proper, will not be affected, whereas it will involve the Tennant's capsule, which is the fascia covering the sclera. So it is typically affects the young adults and females, being twice as common in women than the men. So women will be more affected as compared to the male. Second is the thing is the etiology of the episcleritis. As we discussed the etiology, it is idiopathic. Means the exact etiology is not known. And the second thing is the systemic diseases. It is seen in association with gout, psoriasis, connective tissue diseases. And third thing is the hypersensitivity reaction. It has been considered a hypersensitive reaction to endogenous tubercular or streptococcal toxins or proteins. And last thing is the infections. It may be associated with the herpes zoster virus, syphilis, Lyme disease, or TB. Second, next thing is the clinical features. We are not discuss the pathology here. So I will just tell you the pathology. Histologically, there occurs a localized lymphocytic infiltration of episcleral tissue associated with edema and congestion of overlying Tennant's capsule and conjunctiva. Then we comes to the clinical features. What are the symptoms and signs of episcleritis? If we talk about the clinical picture, episcleritis is characterized by the redness, mild ocular discomfort, as described as a gritty sensation or burning sensation or foreign body sensation. Then many a time it may not be accompanied by any discomfort at all, and rarely mild photophobia and lacrimation may occur. What is photophobia? It is a intolerance to light, and lacrimation is a watering of eye. They are very rare. Then we come to the signs. On examination, two clinical types of episcleritis may be recognized. These two types of episcleritis are diffuse episcleritis, which is also called the simple episcleritis, and second one is the nodular episcleritis. In diffuse episcleritis, although the whole eye may be involved to some extent, the maximum inflammation is confined to the one or two quadrants. They are in the form of a sectorial involvement of episclera, and the engorged episcleral vessels run radially. In case of the nodular episcleritis, there is a pink or purple flat nodule surrounded by injection is seen. Injection is seen, reddening or congestion is seen. Usually which is situated 2 to 3 mm away from the limbus. And this nodule is firm, tender, and the overlying sclera Overlying conjunctiva moves freely. It is the image of the simple episcleritis, means the diffuse episcleritis, not the engorgement of the radially oriented superficial episcleral vessels. It is the image of the nodular episcleritis in the enlarged inset. Nodule is displacing the anterior reflection of light. In image first, where the marking 1 is done, while the light there's a nodule is displacing the anterior reflection of light in first, and in the case of second marking, while the light is refracted from the sclera, shows no displacement. Then we'll come to the differential diagnosis. Occasionally, episcleritis may be confused with inflamed pinguicula. Sometimes we get confused with the inflamed pinguicula. Pinguicula is again the degenerative disorder of the conjunctiva. So you feel like it is like a pinguicula. Swelling and congestion due to foreign body lodged in bulbar conjunctiva and very rarely with episcleritis. So simple episcleritis looks like conjunctivitis or pinguicula, whereas the nodular or inflamed nodular episcleritis looks like inflamed pinguicula, swelling and congestion due to foreign body and scleritis. Then comes the treatment part. What is the treatment of the episcleritis? First is the topical artificial tears. So we have to give the topical eye drops, topical NSAIDs or systemic NSAIDs. Systemic non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like Ibuprofen 300 mg OD, indomethacin 25 mg 3 times a day, or oxyfenbutazone may be required in recurrent cases. Then there is topical mild corticosteroid eye drops. The topical corticosteroid eye drops can be instilled 2 to 3 hourly, render the eye more comfortable, and resolve the episcleritis within a few days. Then we talk about the cold compresses. They are applied in the closed lids and may offer symptomatic relief from ocular discomfort. So all these measures are done to treat the episcleritis, which is the benign recurrent inflammation of the episclera. Means it is not so severe disease, it is a less serious disease, and these few measures it can be treated easily. So here the session of episcleritis finishes here. So thank you so much. This session is powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you so much. Where the retina ends. Here the retina is firmly attached both to the vitreous and the choroid. The pars plana extends fairly from the orbis serrata. Then the microscopic structure. Retina consists of 3 types of cells and the synapses arranged in the following 10 layers. First layer is the pigment epithelium or the retinal pigment epithelium. It is the outermost layer of retina. It consists of the single layer of cells containing pigment, and it is firmly adherent to the underlying basal lamina, which is called the Bruch's membrane of the choroid. And there's a term called subretinal space. It is a potential space between the retinal pigment epithelium and the neurosensory retina. This is the anatomy of retina. Then layers of second layer is the layer of rods and cones. Rods and cones transform light energy into the nerve impulses. Rods contain photosensitive substance rhodopsin, whereas the cones contain photosensitive substance iodopsin. The cone cells are helpful in photooptic vision and rod cells in scotopic vision. The cones are about 6.5 million and rods are about 120 millions. The rods, they're the cylindrical photoreceptors found in the greatest concentration on the edges of the retina. Most common type of receptor allow us to see in low light and provide for peripheral vision. The cones, they are the conical photoreceptors found in greatest concentration near the center of the retina. There are three varieties of cones, each most sensitive to a particular wavelength of light. Blue, green, and red allow for visual acuity and color vision. The external limiting membrane. Fenestrated membrane extending from the oroserato up to the edge of optic disc, and the process of rods and cones pass through it. Next layer is the outer nuclear layer. It made up of the nuclei of the rods and cones. The cones nuclei have the dimension 6 to 7 micrometer, and rod nuclei is 5.5 micrometer. These nuclei lie in a single layer next to the external limiting membrane. Rod nuclei form the bulk of this layer except that cone dominated foveal region. Next layer, the fifth layer is the outer plexiform layer. This layer is made of synapses between the rods, spherules, and cone pedicles with the dendrites of bipolar cells. Bipolar cells are the first order neurons of visual pathway. The next layer is the inner nuclear layer. It is very thin and is similar to the outer nuclear layer. It consists of various type of cells like bipolar cells, horizontal cells, amacrine cells, Mueller cells, central retinal vessels, the glial cells, and this layer disappears at fovea. Next, seventh layer is the inner plexiform layer. It consists of the synapse between bipolar cell and dendrites of ganglion cell. It is absent at fovea. The eighth layer is the ganglion cell layer. It mainly contains the cell bodies of ganglion cells, which are the second order neurons of visual pathway. There are two types of ganglion cells, midget ganglion cell and postsynaptic ganglion cells. The midget ganglion cells are present in macular region with the dendrite of each such cell synapses with the axon of single bipolar cell. The polysynaptic ganglion cells lie predominantly in peripheral retina, and each cell may synapse with up to 100 bipolar cells. The ninth layer is the nerve fiber layer, the stratum opticum, which consists of the axons of the ganglion cells which pass through the lamina cribrosa to form the optic nerve. The next layer is the tenth layer, the internal limiting membrane. It is the innermost layer and it separates the retina from vitreous. It is formed by the union of terminal extensions of the Mueller's fibers and is essentially a basement membrane. The next slide is of the blood supply of the retina. The outer four layers of retina is supplied by the choriocapillaries, and the inner six layers they get this supply from the central retinal artery, which is a branch of the ophthalmic artery. The outer plexiform layer gets partly by the both the above arteries. The fovea is avascular and is mainly supplied by choriocapillaries. The inner portion of retina is perfused by branches of the central retinal artery. In 30% of eyes, a cilioretinal artery branching from the ciliary circulation supplies part of inner retina, mainly the macular region. The retinal blood vessels, mainly the inner blood retinal barrier. This physiological barrier is due to the single layer of non-fenestrated endothelial cells, whose tight junctions are impervious to tracer substances such as fluorescein. So here completes our anatomy of retina. Thank you so much. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you so much.